During the afternoon of April 25, 2015, a MW 7.8 earthquake struck Nepal and surrounding countries. Shaking from the quake triggered an avalanche from Pomerai into base camp on Mount Everest. At least 22 people were killed, surpassing an avalanche that occurred in 2014 as the deadliest disaster on the mountain. Avalanches. The avalanche is reported to have started between Pomerai, left, and Lingtren, middle peak, Kumbuse to the right. Mount Everest is approximately 220 kilometers, 140 miles, east of the epicenter, and between 700 and 1,000 people were on or near the mountain when the earthquake struck, including 359 climbers at base camp, many of whom had returned after the aborted 2014 season. 5. The earthquake triggered several large avalanches on and around the mountain. One avalanche, originating on the nearby peak of Pomerai, swept into base camp and blew many tents across the Khumbu Glacier towards the lower icefall. An Indian Army mountaineering team recovered the bodies of 19 mountaineers from the South Base Camp and rescued at least 61 stranded climbers from the mountain. At least 61 people were injured, with dozens initially reported missing, and many more stranded at camps at higher elevations, having lost secure descent routes. Rescue operations. Nepal side Everest Base Camp. Helicopters reached Mount Everest on the morning of April 26 to commence rescue operations, managing to transport 22 of the badly injured to Farish village, before the operation was halted by bad weather. Farish is an important stopover for climbers and has a rudimentary hospital staffed by volunteer doctors from the Himalayan Rescue Association. Later that day, a helicopter reportedly evacuated several climbers from Camp 1, the first camp above base camp, with some 100 mountaineers still unable to safely descend from Camps 1 and 2. Expedition leaders decided to try to evacuate climbers from Camp 1 by repairing the route through the Khumbu icefall. On April 26, a helicopter dropped additional technical gear at Camp 1, and a team of Sherpas and foreign guides attempted to re-establish the route from the top back down to base camp. Simultaneously, another team dispatched from base camp tried to re-establish the route from the bottom up. But this attempt was unsuccessful as a subsequent avalanche took out most of the ladders and reportedly killed 3 Sherpas at Khumbu icefall, pushing the death toll on the mountain to at least 24. Further climbers were rescued via helicopter on April 27. Climbers at base camp posted on Twitter in the days after the disaster, writing of great desolation and high uncertainty among those who were left, and stating that the area looked as if it had been hit by a nuclear bomb. One mountaineer, commenting on Facebook, said that people stuck higher up on the mountain were getting desperate. On April 27, 60 people were rescued from Camp 1 and 170 were rescued from Camp 2. 17 bodies were found on April 25, and 1 was found on April 27. On April 26, one of the 61 badly injured died at KMC Hospital. Deaths. Kumbuse overlooks base camp. A Nepal Mountaineering Association report on April 28 listed 19 deaths, of which 10 were identified as Nepalese Sherpas and 5 were foreign climbers. 4 were not identified by name. The 5 climbers were listed as 2 Americans, 1 Chinese, 1 Australian and 1 Japanese. On April 27, National Geographic reported 24 deaths. Google executive Dan Frydenberg, who was climbing Everest with 3 company employees while mapping the area for a future Google Earth-type project, and 3 other Americans, were confirmed dead. Effect on 2015 climbing season. Although the ladders at the Khumbu icefall were damaged by the avalanches, a handful of mountaineers, undeterred by the disaster, immediately sought Nepalese government permission to continue with their attempt on the mountain and were granted permission to do so on April 29, 2015. The ladders will be repaired in the next 2 to 3 days and climbing will continue. There is no reason for anyone to quit their expedition, said Tulsi Gautam, chief of the Nepal Department of Tourism. There is no scientific reason to expect another quake, and we feel the ground is stable enough for climbing despite aftershocks. The closure of routes over the icefall for the remainder of the season was later announced, the second consecutive year that the mountain has been closed due to avalanches. After the second earthquake on May 12, 2015, Dambar Parajuli, president of the Expedition Operators Association of Nepal, said there were no climbers or Nepali Sherpa guides remaining at Everest Base Camp. As a result, no one climbed Mount Everest in the spring of 2015, the first time in 41 years that this has happened. In August, one climbing permit was issued to Japanese mountaineer Nobukazu Kuraki. He turned around 700 m below the summit in October, in the autumn post-monsoon season. He had tried 4 times previously, losing all his fingers to frostbite. I hope you guys enjoyed this information. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe to my YouTube channel for more interesting videos.